guys, welcome to my video on Wolfgang and the Black Prince, and I just wanted to put out a bit of trigger warning out there before I started the video. This manga does contain themes of emotional abuse and body shaming in the later chapters, so if you guys are not comfortable with watching something like this, I totally understand. Please do take care of yourselves. Your mental health comes before anything else, and without further ado, let's get into the video. I don't know how this anime is so popular. So I read the entire manga, and this is a video on my deep dive of Wolfgang and the Black Prince. And let me tell you, because I feel like I was gaslighted into believing what she went through in this anime was alright, and the way the main lead treated her was meant to be like that. But if he was not good looking, none of us would have given him a chance. Even the main girl would not have given him a chance. Because this man goes above and beyond to make sure that this girl remains insecure and always relies on him. And he is the center of attention. So let me quickly give a breakdown of like a few of the main characters. So we have Erika. And to describe her in one word, she's a people pleaser. She wants to please people so much that she would lie about literally anything, and that's how she gets into the mess, and that's how we get introduced to her. And then we have Kyouya. I'll get to him later because oh god, this entire video is just me ranting and hating on this man. Then there is San. San's Erika's best friend, and she's always there for her. I think she's one of my favorite characters in this manga because she has common sense. She uses her common sense, so I like her the most. Then there's Takeru. Takeru is Kyouya's childhood friend and best friend, and he is like the happy-go-lucky character, you know. He's just there. He's just laughing, smiling. He's like the one that just brings like the loudness into the group. And then you have Kamiya. See, with this guy, he was so annoying at the start. Then he got alright. Then I don't know, his personality. He seems like the friend that's in the group just to hate on you and to just always put you down and just give backhanded compliments. Because just throughout the series, just the things he says and like the seeds he plants in like Erika's or Kyouya's head to like, you know, go at each other. It's just a bit like, okay, like, do you not have anything else to do? Then there's Erika's two friends, like the ones that she wants to impress a lot. Like they're the reason why she's like lying about being in like a fake relationship. And then there's Erika's mom and dad, you know, they're like the characters behind the scenes. I can't forget this girl as much as I want to forget her. There is Rina-chan, that's Erika's cousin. She plays like a major role in the middle of like the manga when she starts, you know, crushing on Erika's boyfriend. We'll get into that. The series starts off with our main character, Erika. Erika is in her first year of high school, and she's around a new crowd of girls now who have like older boyfriends and constantly brag about their intimate life in front of her. So feeling left out, Erika too lies that she has a boyfriend, but she uses her best friend San to call her every afternoon and pretend to be her boyfriend so that these two girls think that Erika's in a relationship. But as Erika and San are talking about like keeping up the charade, she hears talk about her behind her back, about how they think she's faking having a boyfriend and lying about her intimate life to them. So thinking that she's gonna get caught by them and caring so much about what they think about her, she decides to go take a picture of a random good-looking guy. And when I say she took a picture, I mean she genuinely went and took a picture. He could hear the camera clicking. Like he made eye contact with her as she took this picture. She was mere inches away from him as she took this picture. And she just ran off.
Why are you weird? Why are you this way?
And then she shows this picture to her friends, being like, oh, look, this is my boyfriend, guys. Like, I'm not lying. And they're like, wow, your boyfriend's really good looking. But one of her friends are like, oh, wait, doesn't this guy go to our school? And that's when Erika sees the guy that she took the picture of. And this is our main lead, Kyouya. Now, I have a love for most of my shoujo boys. Like, most of my shoujo boys, I love them. I hold them dear. Kiyosoma, I freaking love. All the men from Yawn of the Dawn, I freaking love them. But this guy? Oh my goodness. If I ever saw him on the street, I am genuinely swinging. Because the disrespect he puts this girl through during this entire series, I can't. But she sees him, she gets scared. So she runs up with him and she tells him everything about how she's pretending she has a boyfriend to seem cool to her friends. And at first, he's like, okay, like, I'll be your pretend boyfriend. And she's like, wow, not only is this guy good looking, he's really nice as well. But that's when this guy persona, you know, kind of disappears and he turns into this weird creep. It starts off with him being like, oh, I really love dogs. And she's just there like, okay, that's really cool. I don't know why you're telling me this. And he's like, oh, I love to have my own dog. And she's just there like, what? And so he blackmails her. He's like, you have to listen to everything I say like a dog so that I could pretend to be your boyfriend, or else I'm telling them everything. And she should have seen the red flag. He is a walking, talking red flag. She should have seen it right there, but she doesn't. So she's like, okay, so that I'm popular with my friends, I'll do it so that I can keep on lying. So he tells her to bark. He literally throws a stick and she goes and fetches it like a dog. Yeah. So that's how both of their relationships starts. And that's the end of chapter 1. So, like, the only person that knows the true colors of Kyouya is San, her best friend. And obviously she's been the voice of reason, being like, just don't do it. Like, it's so easy, just stop.
Stop it. Get some help.
She doesn't. And so now the whole school knows that Erika, is dating the school prince, Kyouya. So it's a recurring theme throughout the entire manga. Like, he just calls her dog and he just calls her like his pet. And I just don't like this man. The way he just disrespects this girl. And it's like every time you think he gets better, he just comes back around to his same old self. And so chapter 2 starts with him bossing her around. You know, obviously she can't tell anyone that she's fake dating him. So he's bossing her around, and Erika really thinks, what is true love actually to her? So she's on the search of true love, and this is when she gets confronted by Kyouya's fans. So they take her outside and warn her not to date him, and she, being like the rebellious girl she is, she stands up to them. Only if she could do this with him. But she stands up to them and she's like, oh, it's none of your business. And then they start fighting her. And this is when a new character called Kimura stands up for her. She's really happy about this, and she's taken by surprise that someone's actually standing up for her. And so they exchange numbers. Kyouya finds out about this and they plan to meet because she's like, oh, it's a man that respects me. And Kyouya, when hearing this, oh god, I genuinely hate this guy so much. He breaks her phone. Like, I don't care if it's a Nokia brick or the newest iPhone out there. If someone does that to my phone, I think I'll start to swing. And so he breaks her phone and calls her a dog again, which is so demeaning. I don't know how she could take it. It just gets worse around throughout the manga. I just feel so bad for the poor girl. But not to get put down by his remarks, she chooses to meet Kimura behind his back. So her and Kimura meet that weekend, and then they're going out, having fun, like visiting like parks and everything. And so Kimura's like asking her like how her relationship with Kyouya is going. And so thinking that she could trust him, she tells him the truth. She tells him that her and Kyouya are fake dating. And this is when this man does a full 180. And he just looks at her so disgusted and confesses to her that he only is hanging out with her because he wanted to break up hers and Kyouya's relationship. Because turns out this guy's ex left him for Kyouya. Erika hearing this, she is clearly upset and she can't believe that she's getting played yet again. But out of nowhere comes Kyouya. He's listening to all of this and he's like, wow, I can't believe you are doing this. And now Kimura's scared, you know, because like Kyouya is like the cool one, like the prince and everything. And he's like, what are you doing here? And Kyouya punches him. And he's like, don't you dare do that to my girl. You know, this would be heartwarming. This would be cool if he didn't treat her the way he did. And from there, like, Kyouya walks Erika home. And this is where we slowly start to see her seeing him in a different light.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa!
That's too damn bad!
One thing about Wolf Girl and the Black Prince is that the girl falls for the guy really quick. Like, her standards are really low for someone who says she's like a hopeless romantic, like she wants to feel loved and she wants someone to love her. But we're gonna move on to chapter 5. This is where she actually ends up falling for him. I know, it's really quick, but Miss Girl does not have standards. We need to remember that. And it genuinely breaks my heart whenever I see this girl like fall for the most cringy, like horrid things like this guy just says. Like, there's like this one bit in it where like he asks if like she's got his cold and she's like, no, like, are you worried about me? And this man with full chest says, isn't it obvious that the one to be worrying about their master is the dog? And oh my gosh, it's like she feels shook by everything that he says. And I've noticed like during this entire series, like in order to make him look good, they introduce other male characters that are just horrible, worse than him, or just men that don't speak their mind. There's nothing wrong with that, like everyone's like different, but like in this manga, like the males that are more shy or like don't speak their mind are kind of seen as weak. And Kyouya does speak his mind when it comes to things like that. And the way he phrases it, I just know for a fact, like, things like this are more feasible when it's, like, visually seen. So at the end of chapter 5, Erika goes to Kyouya's house. And when she's at his door, she sees another woman coming out. And so now there's all three of them just looking at each other like the Spider-Man meme. And Erika's like, oh, who's this woman? And she's just having like a little crisis in her head. And once the woman leaves, she tells Kyouya how she actually feels about him. And he's a bit there like, no, you are mistaken. And oh God, he just acts like I'm not like the other boys. It's like he was like, I'm grown numb to that feeling. Like, I would never like anyone. And he's like, this is just a misunderstanding. But she doesn't give up, and she's like, I'm going to be persistent until like you believe in me, until you believe in us. And he's just there like, okay, we'll see where it goes.
No! God, please, no!
Erika, it's okay. He's not worth it. This man is not worth it. But Erika's like, stop playing me, like, are you being serious? Just tell me as it is, it's a yes or a no. This man with full chest, he's like, go ahead and worry about each and every one of my moves. It's fine by me. Because he wants her to think about him. He needs her to think about him. God, what a bitch. But Erika doesn't give up. She tries to get his attention from there on. And it was during one of these days when she's walking by his side that she gets hit by a football. And this was kicked by Kyouya's best friend, Takaru. I hope I'm saying that right. And Erika really likes Takaru when she first meets him. So after their meeting, she goes up to Takaru without Kyouya. She tells him the entire truth about their relationship. And this time she wants his help so that she could know the real Kyouya. Takaru is really nice and he's like, oh, you're such an admirable person, like, of course I'll help you. And so he tries asking Kyouya like what his type in woman is so that he could give Erika ideas. And so she dresses up as the woman Kyouya likes, an intelligent girl. So the next day she comes into school, she's like wearing glasses and Kyouya's like laughing at her and she's like, oh, well, this is not gonna work. But she's more embarrassed that he didn't fall for it than like she feels more bad for herself. Both Takaru and her keep on scheming about like different plans they could do for that Kyouya could like get physically close to her, but obviously nothing works. He has a heart made out of stone, so he just ignores her whenever she tries to make any effort with him. And Erika starts crying in front of Takeru, and she's like, maybe I should just give up. So Takeru feels really bad about it, so that night he invites Kyouya and Erika out, and so there's all three of them being at a park, and Takeru says to Kyouya that he's fallen in love with Erika. And thinking he'll get at least some bit of emotion from this guy, he's like, yeah, I want to date Erika now. And Kyouya's like, okay, just take her. Erika gets upset over this, and now I'm not saying that this is Kyouya's fault, but like, Erika needs to understand no one needs to like her. There's something called unrequited love, and sometimes love doesn't work out and we just move on. And so I feel like she's just a bit too persistent over someone that just doesn't care about her. She is just so delulu, and it just like, Kyouya's just not worth it, and she does not see that. But she runs away, and Takeru is just there like, why did you do that? Like, why don't you like just tell her that she likes him? And I feel like this chapter I'm on his side more, because he's not forced to like her, but he also holds it over her head. So he goes to meet Erika, who's just there, you know, vibing. She's just there like, oh, he doesn't like me. I'm just a sad, lonely girl. He's never gonna like me. Kyouya joins her on the bridge where she's just standing, and he's like, oh, is your love for me really that weak? Are you not gonna like fight for me? Don't you want to know what's in my heart? And okay, why do you constantly say no to this poor girl? But you also hold it over her head, and in a way it's like she needs to constantly chase after you. You see more of this in his behavior like during like the later chapters, but it's like he could never leave her, but he would never love her truly either. And it just feels like Erika's just putting in way more effort into this than he ever would. So in chapter 7, Christmas is coming up, and her friends are like, oh, I can't wait to take Christmas pictures with my boyfriends. I can't wait to show it off in the group chat. And now Erika wants to do the exact same. So she goes to find Kyouya, but she's also a little excited that it's Christmas and she can't wait to get presents. And he's, oh god, him, I just can't do it with this guy. She goes up to him and she's like, oh, Christmas is coming. And he's like, oh, Christmas is so troublesome. Like, I hate Christmas. God, he should be visited by the three ghosts more than Scrooge. Erika tells him that she wants to take like a picture together, and he's like, oh, you women are so shallow. And it's like, you just know it's a red flag when someone refers to you as woman. Or females. I just don't know. It just gives me the ick when someone says it like that. He jokes. He's like, okay, I'll buy you a collar or a leash so that I could walk you like a dog. And she's like, oh, if it's from a person I love, I'll take that. No, but like, this is not even the worst. It gets worse. It gets worse than this. Like, I think this was the chapter I just realized. I was like, is this really worth it? Is reading all of this worth it? Because I know it's about to get worse. So do I have to carry on like this? So they finally take a picture in front of like a really big Christmas tree, and she's really excited about it. He could not care less. And they go to a restaurant and they're just sitting there, and she asks him once again, what am I to you? And she threatens him that if he says anything mean, she will throw her juice over him. But he says that he likes her. Like, he genuinely says he likes her, and he just toys with her because it's fun, but like, genuinely he likes her, and he's not interested in her as a toy. And it's like embarrassing to tell her this, but he's always liked her. And Erika's like taken by surprise, as like anyone would be. And then this man, this man's like, so how long are we going to continue this act? He was acting. He said that for the pure reason of just making fun of her. He is leading her on just to make himself happy. This, yeah. So he obviously gets juice like thrown all over him, and she tells him to go die. And I'm like, as much as I don't condone things like that, he's just so horrid. And she's just there in her house crying, but she still sends a picture that they took in the group chat. That's how much she cares about like her popularity in like this new school. Then she hears her doorbell ring and her mom opens the door to see Kyouya. And Kyouya comes into the house and he goes into the room and instead of saying sorry like any normal human being would, this man barges into her room and he's like, I'm your master, pouring water on me and telling me to die? Did you think that was an okay thing to do? I'm gonna make you understand your position as my dog once again. The brain cells in this man's brain is not working clearly. Who says that? Who the hell says that? And he's like, I'm gonna put a collar on you. And the collar's a necklace. He could have genuinely just called it a necklace. Like, it's a really pretty necklace. Like, that's the thing with this manga. The drawings are so nice. But it's just so toxic. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to feel. It's like, he is a conventionally attractive shoujo anime boy. And that's the only thing he has going for him. He has no personality. But now just reading through it, it's a bit like, does this man never learn? And it's like the same with Erika as well. She's just so naive that she just tags along to everything this boy says. So you're just a bit there like, girl, what are you seeing in him? If he was not that good looking, would you have felt the same way about this guy? Because I know he would not have felt the same way about you. And he does say that during one of the later chapters. After that, school starts again. They don't meet until like the new year. And so during like assembly for them, like she comes up to him. She's like, hey, like how are you? How's like your new year been so far? And the first thing he says is, oh, the dog has came to find her master. Like I said, I'll swing. Any day, anytime, I'll swing. Because she's a shoujo protagonist. She's like, oh my gosh, like you gave me this necklace. I'll never forget about it. And she's like so obsessed with him now that she's forgotten about her studies and she's like getting like really low grades. And she's failed one of like her exams. So she would have to retake it in 2 days. And she knows that Kyouya is clever. So she goes and asks him to help her revise for the exam. And she comes over to his house by lying to her mother that she's going over to her best friend's house. He looks down on her more, saying that she's like dumb and things like that. And she asks him like, what do you see me as again? Like, girl, I'm getting tired of it. Are you not getting tired of this? He tells her that he does not even see her as a girl and he has no interest in laying any finger on her. Obviously, she's her. To make it worse, he tells her that not only is she an idiot and not good at studies, she's just so stupid that she just can't get this through her head. I'm sorry, that would hurt me. I think I would have to take 3 to 5 business days off if someone told me that. The power goes out and now she's scared. There's like no running water. There's nothing that they could like use to warm themselves because it's like snowing outside. And she needs to go to the toilet. But she's too embarrassed to go to his toilet because obviously like the flush, nothing's working. So she runs out there and she tells him that she needs to go outside to one of like the public toilets. And she's going out, but when he doesn't see her after a while, he just starts to get a little worried. Not too worried, but a little worried. And he's walking down the street and that's when he hears people being like, oh, there's like a serial kidnapper out now, like he's been kidnapping young women. And now this is when he's starting to get like really worried about her. So he runs to find her and that's when she sees him and she's like, Kyouya, what are you doing here? And she's like, oh, could you have been worried about me? And he just calls her a stupid dog. Don't mess with me. Not only is your cell phone completely useless, you disappear for as long as you like and come back acting casual. Up until now, where have you been? What have you been doing? And obviously she's scared. She's like, why is this man yelling like this at me? And she's like, oh, I went to buy like a hot pot set. And now he feels bad. But instead of saying sorry for calling her like an idiot, like just horrid names, he's like, oh, you really are stupid. But they walk home and Erika still does not understand. And she's like, oh, he's worried about me. And both of them walk home. So it's Valentine's Day now, and Erika's really excited to make kyouya, like some chocolate. And she's like, oh, would you eat it if I like make it for you? And he's like, I guess I'll eat it if you give it to me. And she's like really excited to make like chocolate for him. And it's in this chapter we meet a new character called Kusakabe, and he's this really shy boy. He's like really insecure about himself. He can't really talk to girls, hides like his like face with like his long hair. So he's like a shy character. And Erika, unlike all the other people in the school, is a decent human being and is nice to him. And she pays for him when she sees that he's like getting anxious and can't get his wallet out. And that's how they become close. So both of them slowly start getting close. Kyouya sees this and starts to get a little jealous. But he doesn't say anything to Erika. He more or less acts like she's more of the problem than him being jealous and just communicating with her. Even though they're not even dating, so I don't know what he's jealous about. He keeps on saying he doesn't like this girl. But when she talks with another man, he starts to get annoyed at her. But anyways, so Erika makes chocolate for kyouya. She spends like the whole night making it. And the next day she's walking and she's Kusakabe. And he's like upset over something. They're talking about it. And obviously she has like a bunch of chocolates. So feeling bad for the guy, she gives him one of like her chocolate packets that she made the other day. And he's like happy about it. And he's like walking off. This is when Kyouya, the villain, sees the chocolate packet in his hand, and he's like, oh, where the hell does he get the chocolate from? And so he meets Erika like outside like the school, and she gives him his chocolate. And when he sees the similar packaging, he's like, oh, so you only made this for me? And she's like, yeah, I only thought of you when making this. And he's like, well, I don't need something like this. And this man's so bloody dramatic. He's like, oh, something that disgusting, like I'd rather die than eating this. And he's like, give me the same treatment as that weakling that makes me feel totally disgusted. It's like, man, are you okay in the head? Who the hell are you? He goes on to talk crap about like Kusakabe. Like he's like, oh, he's like a weakling. He can't even look at like a woman in the eye without shaking. He's just a coward. Why would you do that? Obviously Erika's annoyed. She's like, oh my god, how could you talk about like someone like that? And Kyouya's like getting angry. He's like, you can't talk to me like that. And he's like, then go play boyfriend with him, because I definitely don't want you. And Erika's like, what? Like, how could someone be so horrible? And so she's like walking out of school that day, and she meets Kusakabe, and she tells him everything that's happened. You know, one thing I realized, this is so random. If anyone's read the webtoon Bastard, Jin's dad in it, you know, like the crazy serial killer, he reminds me of Kyouya so much. Like Kyouya looks like him so much. Like in certain aspects, like when his like face like distorts and like contorts into like this like look of like disgust whenever he's like talking to Erika, he looks like Jin's dad. Like, it's so scary. Kusakabe is like listening, and he's like listening to her worries about like how like Kyouya is just being a dickhead. And he tells her, see him as like a man, see him as like potential like love interest for her. And she's thinking about it, and he's like planning on like confessing to her truly. So meanwhile, Kyouya's with Takeru, like his friend, and he's like, oh, like, why is she not texting me back? She's definitely going to text me back after I said that to her. Obviously he does not get a text back. What a loser. And I don't like him. And Takeru's like, you're just playing with her, like you just being a horrible guy like to her. And he's like, oh well, she's just a waste of time anyway, so I don't really care, or I'll just have to find something else to do. So that day when Kyouya comes to school, Kusakabe comes up to him, and he's like, oh, like I really like Erika, like what is she to you? Is there anything going on? Because obviously he doesn't know they're fake dating. I think he doesn't. Kyouya's like, oh, she's just a waste of time, she's just one of my toys, so I don't really care about her. And Kusakabe is like, well, I'm gonna ask her out, I'm gonna confess to her. Meanwhile, Erika's hearing all of this because they're talking about this on the stairs. So she's like walking past, and she hears like both of them talking about her. And Kusakabe is like, well, I'm gonna ask her out, so I hope you don't mind. And he's like, this dumb bitch is like, oh, I don't care, she was just a toy anyways, I just have to find something else to do. So Erika finally understands this man's never gonna see her as like a potential love interest or even like a human. So she goes up to him and she's like, let's end this charade, like let's stop this, let's stop being like fake boyfriend and girlfriend. And he's like, okay, let's do that. And so both of them separate, but slowly you could see kyouya starting to like miss her, while like Erika still misses him. Like we see that from like the moment she's like, oh, let's break up, like completely, let's stop this. And kyouya slowly like, oh, I have nothing else to do, like my dog's gone. And Erika's like, oh, I'm gonna really miss him. But then her and Kusakabe decides to go on a date just to see if both of them would work out. The date goes relatively well, but she still misses kyouya. She can't stop thinking about him. She can't stop thinking about getting verbally abused by him. That's what she can't stop thinking about. It's like, girl, do you not see your worth with this man? This man's doing his absolute most to make sure you feel comfortable, and you're thinking about that guy, kyouya. But she goes on the day and ultimately she ends up rejecting Kusakabe, and he comes to understand it, and he's like, oh, I would never be like him, would I? But he's like, no, I understand rejection, so I'm gonna let you go. Something Erika should learn as well, but she doesn't. And that chapter is the first chapter, kyouya and her kiss, because kyouya realizes her worth as well. He comes to find her and he's like, you know what, let's properly start dating. And she's like, what, are you being serious? Like, do you want to actually date me? And then he's like, yep, I can't leave you, so don't ask why. And he's like, I've been brutal and everything. And she's like, just tell me properly then, do you love me or not? And he's like, oh, I guess you're okay to be around. And now they're dating for real. One thing about this manga is like, one chapter they're not together or they hate each other, then the next chapter that problem's resolved really quickly. It isn't prolonged for like 3 to 5 chapters, which is a bit like nothing's happening either. She just forgives him, they get back together. He angers her, they break up, and then they just get back together again. It's just a constant cycle, and then you just think, girl, when are you gonna find your self-worth? Do you not have any self-respect? Now Erika and kyouya are going on like their first date. Erika's putting in so much effort. She's like, oh, I'm gonna make my first date with my first real boyfriend. She wants to do so much, and she wants kyouya to have fun as well. But with this chapter, even at the start, like they're properly dating now, but he always threatens to demote her back to being a doggy. And he just always has that over her head. He's like, oh, whenever you speak too loudly, or whenever like she just gets like a bit too happy for his liking, he's like, do you want to go back to your old position? And it's like, honey, that's not how a relationship works. And Erika just takes it. She takes it all. And it's just like, girl, why? But she decides during their first date that she wants to hold his hand. And it doesn't work. He refuses to do anything that she suggests. He's just doing it for the sake of doing it. He's like, I don't even want to be there. And they go to this flower watching like thing. Like they go to like watch like these cherry blossoms go boating and everything in like this massive park. And he's just making a fuss over everything. He wants to do something, but he doesn't like any idea she gives. But he refuses to give any idea to her either. And just the communication between these two is just so bad. Because like she plans everything for the day, and she's like, oh, we should go boating, we should go see like the flowers, like we should go sit down and eat. And he's like, no, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do this, like a child. He's like, I don't like this, I don't like that. And in the end, like they're both of them are shouting at each other, which is embarrassing as hell. Everyone's like, oh my god, what's going on? And she's like, you don't like to do anything that I ask. And he's like, yeah, because I'm only playing pretend. It's like, I don't even like any of this. I'm just doing this for the sake of like, to show that we're just a couple to you. It doesn't mean anything to me. And obviously she's going to be upset by that. And she just goes boating by herself. And he's just there sitting, and he's like, oh wow. Like couples actually do this when he sees like other couples like feeding each other, because all she wants is for him to say he likes her, but he doesn't. And so at the end of the chapter, he's like, oh, you could feed me, I guess. And she just feeds him, and she's so happy about it. And it's just like, this man is below the bare minimum, and you're happy with this. This man shot down all your plans, looked down on you, degraded you, and you said sorry to him. Because she did end up having to say sorry to him for standing up for herself. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry that I had a go at you. And throughout this entire series, this man never says sorry, even when he is at fault. So the next chapter is the start of second year. And so both of them are in the same class now. And she desperately wants to sit next to him, but she doesn't end up sitting next to him. And this is where we meet a recurring character in the series called Kyouya, and he is the playboy of like the year group. He loves talking to girls, he loves flirting with them, and his ideology is like, why stick to one girl when you could have all of them? He sees Erika and San coming into the class, and he's like, oh, new girls, and he talks to them. And because he ends up staying with Erika as well, he gets close with her, but only for the pure fact of trying to flirt with Erika. But bearing in mind, he does not know she has a boyfriend. So both of them are talking during class, and kyouya is seeing this from the back. And both of them are talking in the class, and the teacher's like, oh, why don't you two be in the committee then if you're talking so much? So now they have to spend even more time together, like after school, her and Kyouya. And so kyouya's like, oh, like, don't hang out with him, he does not seem like a great guy. And she's like, oh no, he's fine, he's just really flirtatious. So Erika is like telling kyouya like, oh, I'm gonna tell him that we're in a relationship. He's like, suit yourself, he doesn't care less, but just don't hang out with that Kyouya guy. Like, he does not seem like a good vibe like for you to be around. And so that evening, when both Kyouya and Erika are like in the classroom together, he's like openly flirting with her, and she's like, I have a boyfriend. And he's like, you do? And she's like, yeah, my boyfriend's kyouya. And he's like taken by surprise. He's a bit like, oh, kyouya. And she's like, yeah. So her and Kyouya are like walking out, and kyouya's waiting for her. And she's like, oh my god, I forgot something. Let me just go get my stuff. So it's just Kyouya and kyouya. Kyouya comes up to me and he's like, why would you do this to yourself? And kyouya's like, what the hell? And he's like, why would you only stick to one girl? You're really good looking. You're the prince of the school. Why didn't you just explore like me? And he talks about Erika in an inappropriate manner, and kyouya gets angry and grabs him by the collar. And that's when she comes back and she's like, oh my god, what's going on between you two? And kyouya's like, nothing, let's go. And kyouya wants her not to hang out with him. But now Kyouya has made it his mission to make kyouya cheat on Erika, because he can't understand why he would be with such an average girl when he's that good looking. Trust me, personality does matter, and Erika's just dumb. That's why she's still with him. Kyouya just wants kyouya to somehow cheat on Erika, so to prove to him that he could do so much better, he could have as many girlfriends as he can. And the class is going on the school trip, and Kyouya sits next to kyouya, and he just wants to manipulate this guy into cheating on Erika, because he's somehow sort of jealous of their relationship, but it's more so that he could prove a point to him. But the thing is, Erika does not see him for what he truly is, because Kyouya acts really friendly towards her, but shows like his true side to kyouya. So during like their trip, like Kyouya invites like girls into like their dorm room, in which kyouya and he is staying in. And because it's like separated with like boys and girls, so the girls are not allowed in their room. And he plays like, in a way it's like truth or dare, and he dares kyouya to kiss one of the girls, because now he can't say no to him. But kyouya says no, and he's like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that, and he leaves. And like Kyouya just cannot understand why he would do that, because there's girls like falling head over heels for him, and he just would not say yes to any of the girls. And even when he gets back to school, like after the trip, he shows off like all the girls he has in his contact list, all the girls that do stuff for him, like make his lunch and everything. And he's like, why don't you want this? And kyouya's like, because I don't care. But he never truly says he likes Erika. He's like, I just like her company. And finally it gets through Kamiya's head like, oh, like this is true love. Well, in some sense. And he's like, oh, maybe like she is the one for him. And he starts to change his way to find what Kyouya and Erika has. So he like deletes everyone's contacts, and he does like this one like full 180 and stops being a playboy and like deletes like all the girls' numbers and starts looking for genuine friendships. And this was one of the few chapters I kind of did like Kyouya, and I thought he would change, but he doesn't. That'll be it for part 1 of my deep dive on Wolfgang and the Black Prince. I've had so much fun so far just reading the manga and just hating on the main lead, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it with me as well. And trust me when I tell you the later chapters are just as worse as this, or if not even worse. Like, stay tuned guys. I hope you guys had fun watching this video, and please do recommend any more shoujo animes, mangas, movies that you want me to explore or do little video essays on, because I love to do something like that.